what you can with all that you have, wherever you are. This phrase is just powerful, and this is the essence of Family Times today. Here at Hope Channel, we give hope, and that is why we have our guest, Faith Ann, and the name sounds it all. The name suggests it all, Faith. Welcome to the show. Say hi to our viewers.
Hi.
And of course, Faith is sandwiched in between two families. I will start with the family of my brother and my friend Richard and Tabitha Ouma. Say hi to our viewer.
Hello viewer, welcome.
Hello viewer, welcome to the show.
And next to me is my dear wife, Linda. Say hi.
Hi viewer.
As they say, a maimed tigress dies clawing at the soil. Is it so, Richard?
It is.
Yes.
It is indeed.
We have a tigress in the house, and she is going to explain to us what keeps her going, because today we are going to talk about her sick child, or who was once sick but now is feeling better.
Yes.
Faith, tell us about your family.
Okay. My name is Faith, as she has said, and I have two daughters. One is 6 and the other one is 5. Yeah. So the one who is 6 is the one who is sick.
Mm-hmm.
But I can say I've learned a lot through her.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Your husband?
My husband is called Pastor Eric Were.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Now we want to talk about Igdalia and her life. And maybe you could just share with us briefly the onset of her sickness. Yeah.
Yeah, Igdalia was just a normal child. Normal pregnancy, normal delivery, and she was that child that you'd see a lot of achievement in her at a very tender age. And she kept us on toes, even in the house. You could not leave Igdalia alone. And when she is quiet, you know something is terribly wrong, or utapata vitu zako zimeharibiwa mingi sana. So she was fine, and when she was 8 months, I got pregnant again. And immediately I got pregnant, she was still breastfeeding. And I used to tell her, Mama, there's another baby is coming. And she was just saying, She was just okay. So she was fine. And I remember when I was like 6 months pregnant, she was having a hernia. She was having a hole in the
navel.
Yeah, the navel. So there was a hole. So it was a bit protruded. So she started vomiting in the morning, especially the first meal. So I was told maybe it is the hernia. So I took her to the doctor, and she was planned for a surgery. She was like 1 year.
Okay.
So it was repaired, and we stayed only 1 day in the hospital, and she was out. But then the vomiting was still there. Yeah. So I said, no, I give up. Maybe this is the way she is. Because there was nothing wrong with her. She was not complaining. She was okay. So she was just like that. In a week, 2-3 days, she would vomit the first meal. And she vomits and goes to play. So we knew that is Igdalia. And something I really admired in her is her memory. She was very smart. We would go to church, we would sing a song, we would come back home, she would sing the song. So I was saying, this girl, she's very bright. So I was just telling the father, this baby, at 2 years, she should go to school. Yeah. Because we will destroy her in the house, maybe to stay for up to 3 years.
Just hold on. I want to bring back Richard and Tabby almost 19 years back when you had your first child. What was the experience and even the feeling in the house?
Oh, very exciting, because, you know, when the baby is not there, you know, everything seems to be in order. And then when you have your baby, when God blesses you with a baby, you have all the plans lined up, right? You're thinking, oh yeah, first year you're excited about this, second year and third, and kinda you help God plan, you know? So it's really normal what she's saying. You look forward to more exciting years with your child.
David, the joy of having a baby is difficult to express.
You
and
can't,
explain,
yeah.
because you bask in the joy that God has blessed you. If you're a Christian, some people don't know that, but if you're a Christian like we are, then you thank God for giving you that gift of a child. And children are a joy to have. You know, when you look at how they walk in the house, you see their behavior while they are still very young. You imagine.
And you start
wonderful
relating,
things.
oh, that
Yes.
one is like you, this one is like, yeah.
And you know,
That was me when I was
Look at
young.
yes, you always want to think everything that is good there
Everything.
came from you.
Yeah,
You
and
may not
everything
even
the
have
other
been there. But then you look at the face and you think, oh, this one really looks like me. This is mine. And so when the mama says, this is my face, you begin to wonder, say, do you really know your face? This is very different.
Yeah.
I remember.
So there's joy, there's happiness,
Yeah.
you know, and children know how to bring people
Yeah,
together.
true.
Really. Yes.
I remember our firstborn was delivered by my mother.
Really?
Yeah, and
Wow.
I was so excited, and I was excited and at the same time tensed. I was standing afar, and then I remember my mother shouting my name to come and help her.
What?
So when I went, she told me, now do this, and the baby was born, very quiet, just looking at us. It was a wonderful moment.
Yeah,
I don't know what was your feeling.
You don't know it.
It is just mixed feelings because it's by the grace of God. For you
Oh,
to get a
yes.
child,
Can you
it's
imagine?
the grace of God. It's not your own making. And when you pull through a pregnancy and deliver, indeed you should thank God.
And I remember everyone, when a child is born, everyone in the family is happy. The nuclear family, the extended family, everyone is excited about this child. Faith, you went for the first surgery. What next?
Yeah. She was diagnosed now with a tumor at 2.5 years. Her sister was just 1 year. So when she was diagnosed, the tumor was so big. But I started noticing she was unwell at around 1.5. Because the vomiting was like now every day.
All the time.
And then I used to share with my friends that this baby, I think she's sick. Then they were telling me, no. So I was saying, this baby must be having a tumor in the brain. Or
were saying
maybe,
you were.
yes, I was telling. And I was saying, maybe,
And of course, motherly
maybe
instinct.
there's an hydrocephalus. Maybe there's a lot of fluid in
You
the brain.
could
I
break
would
down.
tell.
Faith,
Yes.
just break that
Okay,
down.
I'm sorry. Hydrocephalus means there's a lot of fluid in the brain.
Okay.
Maybe the passage is blocked.
Of course, I know hydro is water.
Yes. So that is what I used to tell my friends, and they would look at me and tell me, no, don't put such diseases on your baby. Igdalia cannot have such. The way she's running around, yeah. And this was she was well behaved. Even when you go out with her, especially when we would go to church, she would not make noise, but she would not sit down. She would walk around and say hello and shake hands. Just shaking hands and moving to the next person,
Did you-
shaking hands and smiling. So when I used to share with these friends who were even in church, they were telling me, no, not Igdalia.
What about the father?
So I told the father, and then there's a way she was stepping down on, I think it was on the left leg. There's a way she was stepping funnily. So I was telling the father, so I didn't know whether to go for physio or to do which test now. So when I told the father about the leg, he told me, no, the leg cannot be sick. And she will just outgrow, she will know how to walk. She's just learning to walk. She's just 2 years. So he took it like too much keen on the child. So at 2 years, 2.5, I told him about the child, and he said, no, Igdala is just fine. So I called another friend of mine, nurse, Then I told her, no, we have to do a scan on this baby. So she was telling me, yes, I can help you. So we look for a prescription for the test, for the scan of the brain. Then we went to Aga Khan. Then when we reached Aga Khan, the test was around 10,000. And I was only having 200 shillings. And my friend was only having 1,000. So I asked her, how much do you have? 1,000. I told my mom about the condition of the child. So I didn't want to tell the father. So I just called my mom and told her, I told you about Igdalia, yes. I need 10,000 and send it now. So my mom was like, you always think I have money. You could have told me earlier. But then in the next 2 minutes,
She found you the money.
Yeah, she sent the money.
There are great mothers out there.
So
I know one.
when we did the test, then they told her, if you want a good result, you come for the result tomorrow. Yeah. So we went for the results. I went for the result alone, without my friend. So I just went the way there are many seats there. So I just took a seat where there were nobody. I was just alone. So I just read through and I just told God, thank you. Yeah. Because what I was saying is what was the diagnosis.
Wow.
So I just told God, thank you, but just give me the strength to take care of this baby.
Oh.
That's really, personally, if I was her, I would definitely break into tears. As much as we think about stuff and you think about, oh, you know what, this situation could happen, we only pray. You know, at the back of our mind, we're just praying, Lord, I hope it doesn't happen.
Not this one.
But look at what happened to her. She gets the results what she had thought about her child, and she's grateful to God.
So Faith,
Takes
how
faith.
then did you break this news to the father, and of course to your
Did he know
mother
that
who
you-
sent you the money
Yeah,
for
so
the test?
to my mom, it was an easy thing. But to my husband, it was a bit difficult because he was saying that the baby is fine. So I just came back with the results and I just placed them on our bedroom table. Then I told him the results are there. Then he didn't look at the results. So he just snobbed. So I told him, Igdalia is having a tumor in the brain and they're saying it's bleeding. So he got serious. He picked them and didn't talk. He just picked them and left. So I was just in the house. I was just looking at Igdalia and I was just seeing those tumors. It was a bit big with the age of the child. So I just kept quiet. So I was just waiting for his reaction. So I told my mom. My mom just said, we will pray over it. So day 2, my husband shared the news with another doctor, and the doctor said, this is serious. Yeah. So by that time, she could not walk alone. She would walk, and if you hold her hand, she would come in front of you. Yeah. And this is somebody who was running. So she would come in front of you and slant the head. So, and if you leave her alone, she would walk and stagger and just fall in between where there's nothing
To support.
to make her fall.
So what was
Yeah.
the cause of that? Is it because
Of the tumor. So the tumor was
bleeding?
in the 4th ventricle, actually. The 4th ventricle is where the fluid passes, the fluid in the brain. So it was blocking. So there was a lot of fluid in the brain and there was this tumor at the same time.
and this was now
So it was
affecting
the
balance.
fluid was affecting the balance, and then the tumor was close to the brain stem, which controls the gait and all that
movements.
So that is what was happening to her. So when we came up with the doctor said, let's consult. So they consulted another doctor in Eldoret, another one in Nairobi, then another one here in Kisumu. And all of them, one was saying we remove the fluid first. Another one was saying we do a surgery first to remove the tumor first. Then we went to see Dr. Joey, and Dr. Joey was like, we were with actually Igdalia. I was just holding her hand, and the father was there, and then we had another doctor, Dr. Witty. So Dr. Joey looked at the results, and he asked, where is the patient? Then we told her, she's here. And she was like, he was like, she is able to walk with that big tumor. So when he said that, I knew that I have a long journey to go. I have a long journey to go. So they discussed, and finally we decided to go for a surgery to remove the tumor. So
When he said, when the doctor looked at the results, and you said you have a long way to go, did it scare you?
No,
She's the one
not
who
really
thought.
much, because I had told God just to give me the strength. So, but I knew I had a very long way to go. And being a nurse, and I really didn't like to study brain. It was not my thing. I really didn't like, and even in my exams, I was just praying, let nothing come out on brain. So I didn't really like. So, but then now my child was having a brain tumor. I had to research and read and read and read. But one thing was sure, I was just looking at my child and I was saying, no, Igdalia can't die. With all that I've seen in her, no.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Your baby is called Igdalia. What's the meaning of Igdalia?
Yeah, Igdalia, just as she has said, when you get a first child, you know, we had a long list of names, Then I picked on Igdalia. And Igdalia means the one whom God makes great. And Bekor means firstborn. Then because I loved my mom so much, and even my mother-in-law, so I mixed my mother-in-law's name into my mom's name. Is a third name, Pesida. So actually, when I used to look at Igdalia, I would just see all those futures of my mother's. And I would say, this child, she really needs to get well. So I was not scared, even when she was going for the first surgery.
What about the father and the rest of the family members?
The father was so much scared. Because now it hit him hard. Because he was always saying, no, the baby is fine, the baby is fine.
He disputed that initially.
Now when the results really came out, it was really hard on him. And being the firstborn, and she's a girl, and you know the girls and the fathers. So it was not easy.
But how about your mother-in-law? How was she?
Everybody was scared.
Yes.
Everybody was scared.
Yes.
I think everybody was scared except me.
You're the one who was keeping them going.
And when I saw that everybody was scared,
you needed to step
then I told God, I have to be strong. I have really to be strong.
Think about it when Anana is even having a running nose. You want that Homer to you want to have that. So this is a little girl who is not even 3 years old and is having a tumor. So you can imagine the toll that it had on the family. You have to have faith. You have to be strong. One person has to be strong. One person has to be strong.
They say a woman who is strong is better than 1,000 men with guns.
Really?
We are taking a short break. After this, we are going to talk more about the strength of this lady. Stay tuned. Family Times is the place to be, and we are back. The strength of this lady is just amazing. Now that we are here, Igdalia has been diagnosed and several opinions have been sought. What was next?
Next we went for the surgery, and the doctors told us we are going to stay in North for 2 weeks. Then I said 2 weeks is nothing. We will go for the surgery. And then there was an opinion of going to India, but then I said, if the doctor said if this baby can stand, then this tumor must be very big. So waiting to go to India, for me, it was a long time. So we opted to do the surgery in Kenya. So we went for the surgery, then she overstayed in theater, but then she went to theater walking. She was walking, she was just walking and we were talking. So when and she was so determined. She even refused to be shaved. I undid her hair, and when I wanted to shave, she told me no, I don't want. Then I told her, please shave like my friend. No, I don't want. Then I said, it's okay, we will not shave. So I just went and told the doctor, please shave all hair, don't leave even one. Because I knew, for me, I knew the baby will get up. and be awake. So she was shaved and she was fine. She looked fine in ICU. But she took long. We were even worried, now what next, what next? But then the surgery was successful and we were so happy. We prayed and thank God. Then we went. Then in ICU, 1 day, 2 days, up to 18 days now, we were so worried.
Still in the
ICU.
Yeah, in the ICU. She was fine. You would see she's breathing, but she was on the machine. She could not even like recognize when you call her.
Yeah.
So I was just there. I was staying actually in the hospital, just going to see and staying in the hospital eating. I was eating. I was fat. I ate. I was just eating lunch, breakfast, supper. But I was going to see my baby. But then I was asking the doctor, now, what next? Then he said, no, I will not talk about that patient until she gets out of ICU. So I was just telling God, please allow my baby to get out of ICU, because now I don't know what to do. I can't be with the baby. The doctors don't know what to do until the baby gets out of the ICU, or they know and they don't want to tell me. So I kept on praying. Then she came out. The 19th day, she was out. And even in the ICU, people were really dying. She was having neighbors who were passing, and I was just telling God, just take care of my baby. I was just telling God, nobody is dying in my family, just give me the strength. And she came out. She still was not able to recognize. She was having a tube to breathe with, a tube to feed. But then I remember just telling the nurses that, please, just let me take care of her. But the rest of the things you will just give, but I will take care of the baby alone. Then they said, it's okay if you want that way. So I remember I was given, the ward that I was in was to accommodate 2 patients. But I was given that ward alone. I really thank that hospital. And it was like a home, a small home for me. Because I took care of my child and everything was there. They would bring food for me. I would wash her, exercise, and everything. I would just observe. And 1 week down the line, the baby was a bit better, according to me. And maybe the mother was around. She was hearing the voice of her mom. And one thing I think that kept my baby going, I knew that she loved music. So every time I would go to ICU, I would put for her favorite music, her favorite hymns. And I would just put them. She listens, then I go back. And even the nurses now, they were used to that. And then they were asking me, today you are not putting music for her. Then I would put for her music and just pray and go.
Why were you doing this?
Yeah, because I knew even if she's not able to see me, she's not able to talk, I knew she would hear. Yeah. So I would put music. I would actually talk to her, tell her you'll be fine, don't worry. And I would just pray. I would hold her hand and pray. And finally she was out. After that we stayed in hospital for 3 months. Yeah, 3 months.
You're supposed to be there for 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. So it is 3 months.
Let me just take a pause and let me ask Richard, Tabby, and Linda. I know you have experiences, maybe with your friends or family members in ICU. What was it like?
Traumatizing.
Yeah.
It's a moment you do not want to. You really don't want to go to the ICU to see somebody. It's not the best moment ever. For
When you
me,
just see the machines supporting the person.
yeah.
It's just heartbreaking.
You know, honestly, I don't have that experience. I don't have it. Although I would know somebody's in the ICU and just dash and see what's going on there. But not very close relatives, I would say. You will very easily empathize with the people around there and everybody. But I'm just imagining that being in that situation, how draining that could be, how challenging and testing to our own faith that would be. You know, what faith is saying is amazing, because even within that, there was still that place where trust and belief in God was still existing.
As Linda would always put it, that there is always someone standing in the gap. This time round, it's
The mother.
The mother
Her
who is standing in the
And-
gap.
and-
Everyone else in the
and so
looks worried and
I can't wait to hear that at this moment when you are visiting, you're sitting there in the ICU, how was her dad? How was your husband?
Yeah, I would say he was trying to be strong.
Trying.
Just
Yeah, trying.
trying.
Okay.
Yeah, because you would see it in his face that he
Thereby,
he
no.
didn't even want to stay close to her. Yeah, and even after the discharge, she would want to stay close to her.
I
Yeah,
know.
and it was,
The-
I know it was really traumatizing to her. Yeah, now
Then
the,
that's where your words come true, you know. When situations like this come, we men are very weak.
you just said we men are very weak.
Yeah,
You know,
we-
it
no,
might
no.
sound like women are very weak.
No,
We men.
we,
We
not
men.
we men. Exactly. I think going through that, seeing
It's-
all that,
yeah.
usually
It breaks you.
is not an easy thing for us.
Yeah, that's true.
We are
Remember
very
when
soft.
my father was sick for some time, and on his dying bed, my brother Dave would not
Sit
even,
there.
he would not. While we would go and even sit and touch him, yet he could not hear. Yeah.
You remember
But
even when you went to give birth? I could not stay there.
you didn't say that on TV,
didn't
didn't
say
you?
that. I did.
You did not say that on national
But
TV.
Toby, you are a mom.
I'm weak. I would feel so weak.
I would want to ask
Yeah.
Faith, because you said, the doctor said that you are to be in hospital for a maximum 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Here you are 3 months. How are the bills?
Yes.
yeah, the bills went so high. Like, the bill was around 1.5 million. And, you know, we just got married and the baby came the next year. So there was nothing like savings.
You
Yeah.
you're just building
So
up.
we were just depending on our employment, of which helped, but there was still deficit of around 600. So we tried and asked friends, then we sorted the bill. Yeah, but then
Good friends.
yeah, it was not easy to be with the child in the hospital. I remember when the baby came out of ICU, and then I told the father, please bring her sister. Yeah, bring the sister to see her sister, because now
Yeah.
she's out of ICU.
Yeah.
So Levona came, and Levona was she was just 1 year, just one. So when she came, Igdalia was having a tube here, a tube in the nose, and then the eyes, it was like squint. They were looking like one direction, and then she was having a bald head. Yeah, she was just there. So I carried her and told her, Mama, see Igdalia? Then she said no.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, she told me no.
She's not the
her
one.
sister.
That is not Igdalia. So I told her, no, this is Igdalia. She's just shaved her hair and she's sick. She said no. She wouldn't even want to come close to her. She didn't. But then I kept on bringing her once in a while. Then I would tell her she's sick. Yeah. And when we went back home, I would just let her play with her sister. Yeah. Then she got used to that. And I told her, please pray. You need to pray for your sister. Yeah.
At that tender
At
age.
that tender age. Yeah.
That's I'm thinking about the church family, you know. Here you are, your husband is a pastor. I mean, was the church family supportive?
Yeah, very, very supportive, very supportive. I mean, they would come even one bus to see Igdalia.
Wow.
And they would come and they would break in tears. Then I would ask them, why are you crying? Why are you crying? Igdalia is better than yesterday.
They came for comfort.
Yeah.
They came
And-
to comfort you.
yeah,
Now they're
and
going
then
to
comforting.
they would just tell me, no,
Comforted.
she's not fine. Igdalia is not fine. This is not the child we used to see in church. But I tell them, no, she's better. Today she's better. Yeah.
At that point that these people come to visit you, they're supposed to encourage you, but they're breaking down. Did that affect you emotionally?
Not really. I felt happy that I would encourage someone in my state. And I just told God, please don't disappoint me. This baby has to leave. Yeah, this baby has to leave so that people may see your hand in our family. And that kept on. Now, when we went home, we stayed only 2 weeks. And we went for review. When we went for review, when we were home, she was still vomiting actually. She was still vomiting the first meal. So I told the father, this baby, this tumor is not gone. Yeah. So when we went back, the doctor said, no, you need to do an MRI. So we had to spend. So we did an MRI. The next day, the results were hot. So when we went with the results, the tumor was growing. Again. And now the doctor said, no. There's nothing I can do about this patient. Please go to Nairobi. I said, Nairobi again. So I just told the father, no. Now, if the baby, we were told she's going to stay in 2 weeks and she stayed in 3 months, no, we are not doing anything in Kenya. Let's try India. So I called a friend of mine who had proposed to me to go to India. Then she told me, yeah, it is possible. So we started processing to go to India. So actually, by the time we were going to India, Igdale was actually even blind. She was not walking. She was not eating nicely, like it has to be very soft. And she was blind. So we just said, no, let's go to India. Let's try. Yeah. So I think we had planned to go to India, me, the father, and the child, and would leave the younger one behind. So the last minute, I had to go prior. He would join me. But I just went. I didn't know anybody in India. I didn't even know the language, but I just went. And somebody picked me at the airport. Immediately, we reached the hospital then. They were very fast. We reached with all that sleepiness. They are doing their things. And they discovered this baby is not seeing. The baby was not able even to turn on bed. She was not able even to talk. So you were like doing everything for the baby. Then they said, where have you been? Yeah. And I was like how? I've been to another hospital.
I know.
Yeah.
Right.
So they were saying, you are too late, but we will try to do as much as possible. So they did the shunting part I was telling you. Yeah. So after that shunting, then she started picking up. Then she was put on anticonvulsant. And then she started improving. We came back home. We stayed only in India for 3 months. We came back home. We stayed home for 3 months. We went again back to India. Now when we went again, the doctors were asking, how is the baby? Then I said, the baby is very fine. She's improving a lot. Then they said, okay, if the baby is improving, let's do an MRI. The tumor was just there.
As you were going to India, who was covering the cost of travel?
There's an insurance that was covering.
Okay.
Yeah, NHIF. So,
and you'd travel with Igdalia.
Yeah.
What about the sister?
The sister would remain behind with the father. And when the father would come to visit, the sister would remain with either my sister or my mother. Yeah.
Wow. Time is not really on our side. I think we have about 2 minutes and about 38 seconds to go. Maybe just to fast track this, how is Igdalia now?
Yeah, so far so good. She's fine. She's able to stand with objects. She's able to move around. She's able to see. She's talking. And the last MRI that was done has just shown there's no tumor.
Amen.
And we really thank God for that. Actually, we didn't believe.
Wow.
Yeah. We were saying, like, is it true? Is it true? Because this is a child who has been done for surgery.
How many times?
2 times to remove the tumor. It has been done on radiation. Like, I think radiation that took like 3 months. Yeah. Then she's been done for not radiotherapy, chemotherapy. That's like 32 sessions, 8 cycles.
Wow.
And then even the last time they were trying to do a transplant, which backfired. And by that time, immediately the transplant backfired. She got a complication. She was having a CSF infection. Then she was having a diarrhea. It was just pathetic.
What is CSF?
Okay. CSF is the fluid from the brain. Yeah.
That runs in the spine.
So they were planning to do a transplant. And before a transplant, they have to do a chemo. So this chemo is strong, very strong. So immediately it was done, she was supposed to get 2 cycles of that chemo. And she only got 1, and she got an infection. So they had to stop. So this infection was in the CSF. the fluid from the brain. And there was fluid collecting in the lungs, and there was fluid collecting below the liver. So they had to drain all this, and they had to put this tube, the shunt. It has to be removed now outside. Now it was draining outside in a packet, like the urine bag, you know? Yeah, it was like that for like 3 months. I stayed in hospital like 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Faith, time. What would be your word to someone out there who's probably going through something of the sort in maybe 10 seconds?
My word is to tell people not to give up. Never give up. Even if the doctor said there's nothing they can do about it, don't give up. Just trust in God, and please be persistent with your prayers, and even with your activities. When you have a special child, be persistent. If it is morning, you're doing this, do that, so that the baby also get used to what she's supposed to have. And trusting God is key.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Viewer, as you have heard, persistence, just like the anchor that we talk about, that we have an anchor that keeps the storm steadfast and sure while the billows roll. The billows of life can be anything, can be sickness, can be even death. But what can separate us from the word of God and from the love of God? There is nothing. And that is how we end this show. Family Times. Keep it locked here. Until next time.